Welcome to the Master Dealmaker's Secrets podcast. And now, here's sales growth strategist, John Blake.
Welcome to Master Dealmaker's Secrets. I'm John Blake. This is episode 66, and today we're going to be talking about 10 sales books that market leaders own that others don't. But before we do that, if you've got leads in your funnel and you want to convert more of those leads into paying clients, head over to johnblakeaudio.com, get your free audio training where I show you the precise strategy that you can use to double sales with your existing leads. This is the exact same strategy that I use with my high-ticket clients. It works consistently, which is what you want. You want consistent results. So head over to johnblakeaudio.com, grab the audio training, and what you're also going to get is the PDF companion guide with the exact word-for-word templates and phone scripts that you can use to be persistent, proactive, and professional, but most importantly, to not piss anyone off when you're following up people who have requested some sort of a price outline or a quote or a proposal, but haven't bought yet. So this is going to be super valuable, and it will give you consistent results when you put it into practice. So johnblakeaudio.com to grab that now. Okay, so 10 sales books that market leaders own that others don't. Now, I have, as I'm looking at my bookcase, I've literally got hundreds and hundreds of books on sales. If you do a Google search, if you do an Amazon search, you are going to see hundreds of thousands of books. In fact, I've got 3 that I've written myself. High stakes selling is obviously one of them. But what I want to talk to you about today is, what are the books that I recommend the most, the books that I refer to the most. And so what I want to do is talk about each one of those books and also give you a bit of an insight as to what you can expect if you were to read them. So the first one, and this is one that I refer to a lot, is called The Ultimate Sales Machine by Chet Holmes. Now, sadly, Chet Holmes passed away a few years ago, and this particular book really did change the way that I sold forever. I mean, his information about education-based marketing was really way before its time. His information around hiring, his information about time management. It's a really, building a team, managing a team, training. There really is some fantastic info in there around building a sales-driven organization. So, certainly recommend that one a lot and have adapted much of what Chet talks about in that book into the process that I use with clients and have done now for many, many years. The second one is called Spin Selling. So, spin selling, it's pretty basic. Like it's a pretty basic system, but it actually works pretty well. So, if you needed to read a book and get a really, quite easy to follow process to use to improve your selling, spin selling is certainly worth a read. Number 3 is How to Master the Art of Selling, Tom Hopkins. Now, a lot of people that you see out there in sales land, they tend to kind of dismiss Tom Hopkins as a bit of a has-been. And quite frankly, there are some things in there that I think are dated, but there's still some really good stuff in there, especially around his mindset. And even some of the languaging stuff in there is really timeless and evergreen. So, it was one of the first really popular books on selling. And there, if you can find the things that work, there really is still some gold in there. So I still do recommend How to Master the Art of Selling by Tom Hopkins. Number 4 is How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success in Selling by Frank Bettger. This is a ripper. It also, centers around a number of principles that if you focus on those principles, you'll do well. But I love the fact that it's kind of a story-based, basically this guy started in insurance and he was initially terrible at it, and the thing I enjoyed about it is that it's actually a story-based book. and there are some universally actionable ideas, strategies, and approaches in there that I still use and reference today. So that one's definitely worth a read. And it's just it's an easy read. Some sales books are really dry. I find this one's a ripper because it's it kind of holds your attention because it's story based, and like I said, there really are some universally applicable and timeless ideas, strategies, and approaches in there for sure. Number 5, this one is actually not so much a sales book. It's written by a guy called John C. Maxwell, who is actually a leadership, known as a leadership coach, leadership guru. It's called Failing Forward. And again, the thing I love about it is that there's so many different anecdotes and examples of people that failed a lot, but learned from their failures and just kept punching away. It talks about, failing, the whole idea of failing forward is if you stuff something up, don't get despondent and give up. Learn from what it is that you did or that you didn't do, and just keep moving forward with it. So it really, I think for me, it cut out a lot of the immobilization that tends to happen when you stuff something up, because of the mindset stuff in there. You make a mistake sometimes. You get set back on your bum, and you tend to stay there for a bit. Well, with this book, that because of the mindset stuff in there, it really shortens that period between when you fail and when you start again. That's the thing that I really got a lot out of when I read it, and I still definitely refer back to it today. Number 6 is called The 7 Levels of Communication. And this is a really cool book. It has a lot to do with repeat business and referrals. And it's really a system that you can use to build a referral-based system, a referral-based sales system in your business. It talks about, communicating with people in your database, making sure that you're catching up with people on a regular basis. There's some language stuff in there, but there's just some really good system-based stuff. So as an example, he talks about your first and 10. That is when you get to work every day, make 10 calls. Call 10 people. They could be past clients, they could be existing clients, they could be, people in your power base, influential people that you know. There's some really good stuff in there. I highly recommend that, especially if you want to grow a business that can exist without having to actually invest in marketing. Not that I'm saying that you shouldn't invest in marketing, but theoretically you could run a sales-based business based on the ideas in the 7 levels of communication. And like I said, I've certainly built a lot of those things into the system that I teach. Number 7 is The Sales Bible by Jeffrey Gitomer. It's a really, really good book, chock-a-block full of different ideas, all sorts of different scenarios that you might encounter in a sales type role, or if you've got a team of salespeople that you are managing. It's a really good one. Number 8, Selling the Invisible by Harry Beckwith. So for anyone who's selling a service, not a tangible product, some really good actionable ideas in there, and super valuable. Number 9 is called Value-Based Fees by Alan Weiss. This is a ripper. This really, really influenced the system that I use today. Where he talks about how you can establish high value in what you sell, so that your clients will cheerfully accept higher fees. I've used the ideas in this myself many times to increase my own fees, and I've also helped a number of clients to increase the fees that they charge based on some of the gold that is in this particular book. And number 10 is The New Strategic Selling by Robert Miller and Stephen Heinemann. And the thing I love about this is that it talks about the system relates to how to sell to bigger companies. So it talks about, so you've got small to medium type businesses, but this is how to actually make sales in businesses that are actually quite large. And it's talks about the three different buyers within a big organization, and what it is that you need to understand to actually get an enterprise level sales solution through, and how to actually navigate the different decision makers and the different things that you might encounter in that type scenario. So there's certainly not the the be all and end all, but that is a really good list of books that I have referred to on a regular basis. There's actually more than that. It was just really hard to nail it down to 10, but you will get a stack of actionable ideas if you were to read those books. So that's why they made my top 10. I actually also have another 40. So I've actually got 50 sales and sales management books that I consider a must-have for any business owner's library. I did actually have a funnel up that offered that, but the funnel is currently not working. So if you did want to get the 50, just email me. It's John JOHN at johnjohn -blake blake.com.au. Yes, I get that email myself, and yes, I do respond to it. So if you want all 50, just email me and I will send you a link where you can download all 50. Like I said, I've read hundreds and hundreds of books and distilled them down to the top 50. So thank you for listening, and look forward to talking to you on the next podcast. Cheers.
You've been listening to Master Dealmaker's Secrets with John Blake. Subscribe to get more in-depth strategies to maximize your sales process with new episodes every week. And double your inquiry to sale conversion with the lead flow you already have. Go to johnblakeaudio.com for his exclusive free no-fluff audio training and companion PDF guide.